Well, it's good to see you again. You might remember the last time I was sharing with you about patterns 2 and 3. I should mention that usually pattern 1 is taught in first grade, pattern 2 gets added in second grade, pattern 3 in third grade, and then by the time we get to fourth grade, we will review all of those patterns and then add a pattern 4 and a pattern 5. So I'd like to show you how these two patterns work. The questions are going to be very similar. The answer to the third question for pattern 4 is going to be a noun, and for pattern 5 it's going to be an adjective. But I'll show you how that works. Now you might remember we talked about action verbs. And the subject does an action in pattern 1. In patterns 2 and 3, the subject does an action to something else. Now in pattern 4 and pattern 5, there's no action. Instead, we're going to name something in the subject, and we're going to name it again in a different way in the predicate using a predicate noun. So let's see how this works. Braille is an alphabet for the blind. Remember, our first question is a what or a who. In this case, Braille is a what. So let's ask the question. What is an alphabet for the blind? And the answer we know is Braille, subject noun. The next question, what is being said about Braille? Braille is verb. Braille is what? Alphabet. Is alphabet the same thing as Braille? And if your answer is yes, then you're going to write predicate noun. See, we have a noun in the subject that is naming the same thing as a noun in the predicate. They're both about the same thing. Let's continue. For preposition, for whom, blind, object of a preposition. Remember, the is an article, it means a noun is coming. An is an article adjective, it means a noun is coming. And we have just marked our subject noun, linking verb, predicate noun, pattern 4, check. Is everything marked? Yes. Period, statement, declarative sentence. Go back to the verb, is there an adverb exception? No. Slash to separate subject from predicate, and we are done. Let's try one more of these. Guppies are the most popular fish for aquariums. Question 1. What are the most popular fish for aquariums? And the answer is guppies. Question 2. What is being said about guppies? Guppies are verb. Guppies are what? Guppies are fish. Is fish the same thing as guppies? Of course it is. Predicate noun, which means this is a linking verb. We have a noun in the subject and a noun in the predicate, and they're both talking about the same thing. Let's finish out the sentence. For preposition, for what? Aquariums, object of a preposition. What kind of fish? What kind? Popular, adjective. Now listen to this one. How popular? How is an adverb question. It's not a what kind of popular, it's a how popular. Most, adverb. And then the article adjective. So we have our patterns, subject noun, linking verb, predicate noun, pattern 4. We're going to check that everything is marked. Period, statement, declarative sentence. Go back to the verb. Is there an adverb exception? No. Slash to separate subject from predicate. Pretty easy, isn't it? Let's try pattern 5. The only difference is right here. We're using an adjective to describe the subject instead of using a noun to rename the subject. So let's see how these work. The children were noisy and restless after the parade. Always our first question is a who or a what. Who were noisy and restless? Children, subject noun. What is being said about children? Children were, verb. Children were what? Noisy. Does noisy describe the children? Yes. Children were what? Restless. Does restless describe the children? Yes. So we have noisy is a predicate adjective. Restless is a predicate adjective. Remember, and is a connecting word. We have compound predicate adjectives. Now, you don't usually learn about these compound parts, and like I said, we're not going to work on pattern 5 until 4th grade, but you will have had compound subjects and compound verbs, and when we get into this pattern, you'll just start to recognize whenever you see an and, something's being connected to something else. Okay, let's keep going. After preposition, after what, parade, object of a preposition, the article adjective, the article adjective. So very similar to pattern 4, except that we have subject noun linking verb, predicate adjective, pattern 5, check. Very important, look what I did. I forgot to mark that. And check is when you're going to fill that in. Check is everything marked. Yes, period, statement, declarative sentence. Go back to the verb. Is there an adverb exception? No. Slash to separate subject from predicate. Okay, one more, and I'll be introducing you to a new marking besides the pattern. Let's read together. Grandma's cast iron pot was black from years of use. First question, what was black from years of use? It wasn't grandma, but it was her pot. Pot, subject noun. What is being said about pot? Pot was, verb. Pot was what? Black. Does black describe the pot? Yes. So, predicate adjective, linking verb. From, preposition, from what? Years. Of, preposition, of what? Use, object of a preposition. What kind of pot? Now this is one word. This is a compound word with a hyphen in the middle. So we're going to mark it one time. What kind of pot? Cast iron, adjective. And then I changed the question. Whose cast iron pot? Well, I know grandma is a noun. I know I've made it possessive, which means something belongs to grandma, by adding that apostrophe S. So we call this a possessive noun adjective. And again, you'll learn that in around 3rd and 4th grade, so don't worry about that at the beginning, okay? Subject noun, linking verb, predicate adjective, pattern 5, check. Is everything marked? Yes. Period, statement, declarative sentence. Go back to the verb. Is there an adverb exception? No. Slash to separate subject from predicate. So, patterns 4 and 5 deal with linking verbs. They're very similar to each other. You ask the same questions. What you just have to watch for is, are you saying another name for the subject, or are you using an adjective to describe the subject? Next time we'll do the last 2 patterns. They'll take us back to our patterns 2, and pattern 2 with a little twist. See you next time.